What up, Long Beach? Welcome back to your home for everything local sports. It's JJ.
And Mike, and this video is brought to you by Naples Rib Company, the perfect place to cater your team's next event.
Playoff time in the LBC. Long Beach Poly going to be at Veterans Memorial Stadium Friday night, taking on JSerra out of the very, very good Trinity League. A challenge for the Jackrabbits. And honestly, I don't think we've seen the best version of this team quite yet.
Well, I think if you're a Poly fan, that's certainly what your hope is. They're going to need to be better than they've been so far in order to beat JSerra. That's how good the Trinity League has been top to bottom this year. Even though JSerra was not one of those top 3 teams, they're still a very, very good and talented team.
They've lost 3 straight. Those losses were to St. John Bosco, Mater Dei, and Santa Margarita.
Pretty good teams.
Not too shabby.
Pretty good.
They've also allowed 30 points per game. So that Poly offense looking to get loose could do that against a defense that's shown it has holes.
They've got a balanced offense. Quarterback Matt Robinson averaging over 200 yards per game, where running back Algene Fisher III from Long Beach and transferred from Paramount has 1,010 yards, rushing game averaging almost 200 yards a game. So that'll be a big test for the Jackrabbits as well.
Poly hasn't won a postseason game at Veterans Memorial Stadium since beating Servite in 2014. They then missed the playoffs and got outscored in their last 2 losses, 83-28. So really this game is about the program as much as it's about this team.
We got some great comments on our video that we did previewing the playoffs. I just wanted to respond to those for a second. To be clear, JJ and I aren't saying Poly doesn't, belong in Division 1 or the tradition wouldn't warrant them being there. I just think if you look at the teams that are in Division 1, it's pretty obvious that a team that's had to cut a JV program this year whose numbers are so far down and that doesn't necessarily have the full backing of the institution behind it, they're going to struggle to compete in Division 1. This is a game where they kind of need to prove that they're still, one of those teams, that they belong up there, because again, they're playing a 4th place Trinity League team. And if you can't beat a 4th place team from a private school league at home, you're stating pretty clearly that, hey, this is not the level that we belong at. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think that they're certainly talented enough that they should be able to go out there and put up a lot of points against this JSerra team, but putting up points is something they've actually kind of struggled to do this year.
I think it's going to be up to the defense. The defense has to play well, and they need a big play. They need some turnovers, and speaking of points, if the defense puts points up on the board, I think Poly has a good shot of upsetting JSerra.
Stars for the Jackrabbits, obviously, guys, we've been talking about all year. Quarterback Matt Corral, 2,220 passing yards and 25 touchdowns, despite sitting out half of 6 games. And on the defense, Jermaine Lole has 29 tackles for a loss and 9 sacks, both of which actually feel low to me, because most of the time the guy grabs somebody, it seems like they're in the backfield. He's been a stud. Please be sure to check out my feature on him at presstelegram.com today.
It's Poly, it's Sarah, it's Vets, 7:30 on Friday. If you're there and you want to check on scores from around the local area, you can follow us on Twitter and at Facebook.
Thanks as always to all our sponsors, including Papa Lucci, is a phenomenal place to eat down on 2nd Street. Obviously, we'll have live coverage of that Poly JSerra game. If you want to find out what happens, you got to keep it right here.